Good afternoon, and welcome back. We are here. We are looking at Eager right now. They're going to be taking on their opponent, Cognitive Gaming, as well. And these two teams, as we mentioned before in the pregame, Kevin, they've come a long way to find themselves here in the North American Xbox MLG Pro League Finals.
This has actually been a pretty exciting tournament. Smite tournaments never fail to impress everyone. But what I'm wondering here, is the first seed curse still in place? For those who don't know at home, Smite lands, typically North American and Europe centered. You don't win lands as first seeds. I believe, at least in the PC scene, it's been 15 lands. Twice have first seeds ever come out victorious. And we're starting to see the same with Xbox. XGN being upset, although they were technically a second seed. But Cognitive Gaming actually won the coin flip heading into this tournament and came in as the first seed. So I'm interested to see if the curse is still in place. Eager have their chance.
It'll be interesting. And just to clarify, the only reason there was a coin flip was because both teams throughout the course of the regular season wound up with the same
They were
record.
tied, 10 and 4 each.
So that's why we come here and find Cognitive Gaming as our #1 seed. And you know, it's interesting because it's one of those stats that don't really, there's no real science behind it.
Oh, no.
It's all just superstition.
I think it's just how competitive the Smite scene is across both platforms. It's just these teams are so competitive. Eager, the first team really to jump ship and be that top Smite Xbox team. You can see them on your screen now. Starting from the left, Dworst, Matt Koiz, Sam Bam, Jelly, and Air Cougar.
A lot of what this team has been doing over, not just this weekend, but over many weekends, has really been revolving around your two outside players. Dworst has routinely come in sort of at the right, always in the right place at the right time, and found a number of people with whatever guy he's
massive playing. Hades player, for sure. I mean, his Hades plays have been some of the best we've ever seen. For me, though, I'm looking at Jelly. Jelly is not someone we talk about too much. I was actually talking with El Brochacho, Elevate's support player, and he said Jelly was playing on another level against XGN, specifically his Sylvanas in Game 2 against the Hell, that his positioning and where he was placing himself to zone off multiple members of XGN, allowing Eager to lock down that Hell in critical situations was the reason they won.
And what you could boil that down to is really instincts, Kevin, and I think that really encompasses the entire Eager roster. What Jelly's able to do as far as playing that Sylvanas, he just has the instincts. He knows where and when to be and what to use. And you see that across the board. I mean, Matt Koiz was really one of the more powerful players yesterday, and he came out and again just happened to be all over the place. We mentioned a lot. The kill participation percentage for Matt Koiz was almost 100%, if not 100, and that's exactly where he found those victories. And those instincts are something that Cognitive Gaming is going to have to overcome if they want to take these finals.
You can see Cognitive Gaming on your screen now, formerly known as Release. To your left, we have Cray the Outlaw, Gustavi, Freya, Xing in the jungle, and then solo laner Souped Kitchen. And I think you said it best earlier today when we were discussing this matchup, is that Eager is a very well-rounded team where all the players are on a very equal skill level, very highly competitive. And Cognitive Gaming, they don't live and die by Xing, but Xing is definitely their driving force. If he has a good game, the team has a good game. If he's falling behind, they struggle to recover.
Exactly. And I mean, you can point at players specifically. I tend to find Soup Kitchen and Cray wind up doing a lot of the heavy lifting as well. But Xing is definitely the driving force, as you said, the guy at the helm of this team, and a lot of the success really depends on how well Xing does in the jungle, and you'll see teams notice that during the picks and ban phase specifically.
Target him out.
Exactly. The gods that Xing is used to playing these Bastets almost rarely get
Elevate actually, I think, in all 3 games, banned away Xing's Bastet in that second ban phase. It wasn't worth it to ban it in the first half. Obviously, there's some pretty priority picks you need to take out, but they were not going to allow Xing to get a god he was comfortable on.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of it has to do with not just his play in the actual game, but a lot of it has to do with his veteranship and the fact that he's been playing not just Smite, not just PC, but the game in general for so long, going back to 2012. Honestly, we're about to enter our 2016. He's been playing Smite for about 3-4 years now. You gotta internalize that and realize all of the outside of the line stuff that brings to the table, right? We can talk about strategy, but just being here.
Xing was the first best player in Smite.
That's true.
You know, you look now, and we're starting to see a lot more competition. Obviously, we're 3.5 years in, so it's not just Xing dominating everyone, but Xing is still, for 3.5 years, has been at the top of the competitive scene. But it's time to see if he can overcome. Oh, I guess he's second. He's first seed, right? It kind of feels weird, but it's going to be Eager versus Cognitive Gaming, guys. Game 1 in this best of 5 for the MLG Pro League Finals.
Athena, the first ban out. Eager does not want to deal with the presence globally of that support player, and Soul taken off by Cognitive Gaming, so we're not going to see any early towers.
Kepri obviously locked away. Right now, Cognitive Gaming, I'm looking at a hellban. I mean, otherwise, they're going to have to devise a strategy to beat it. However, we did see Eager successfully devise a strategy centered around the Zhongkui with the Divine Ruin, and then picking up the double heal in Guan and Sylvanas. We'll have to see if Cog has thought of the same thing, and they're risking it right now. Xing Tian, he's going to be locked out.
You got to take it away that Xing Tian.
I know exactly what they're doing, right?
Okay.
Eager will almost always first pick Guan in every situation, but rarely are Hell and Guan left open. And I think right now this is going to be a pretty hard choice for them to pick between, because Matt Koi's his Guan jungle is insane.
Yeah, this is the conversation they're having right now. We're taking a look at the mid laner, and there you go, changing things around. Eager, we're thinking about where they're going to go. I still see Hell as a potential pick, but there it is. Yeah,
you just can't not pick Hell. Because not only will you pick up Guan or something, but then Cognitive Gaming immediately respond with Hell and another pick to protect that god, likely the Guan Yu or the Sylvanas.
Guan jungle, not something I traditionally see Xing play or think of when I hear Xing.
You could run it solo at least,
Very
and it's
true.
still the Sylvanas and support. It's just the fact that the double heal and then Zhongkui, who can very easily apply those Divine Rune stacks, is very powerful with. If I'm Cog here, I'm looking at Guan Sylvanas, because there's no way Eager can run Zhongkui with their Hell. They need more of a protect strat. They don't need to stack up those mages that could potentially get picked, although I guess Zhong's kind of a Guardian.
And not for nothing, also the Sylvanas, as we see a Hou Yi locked in, alongside an Odin.
Oh, Odin's left open. Okay, that works too. We don't see that god very often.
Yeah. So Odin, basically, since we don't see it that often, Odin's ultimate is ring. And inside the ring, no healing allowed. No healing allowed. Well, that's what Hell wants to do. So trap Hell in the ring, and that's the whole idea.
Eager going to be looking to pick up their next two gods. Probably something to protect Hell. Hou Yi was also locked in on Cognitive Gaming side. We'll have to see how Eager going to respond here. I'm assuming they're going to pick up their support of choice, either Geb, I would imagine, or Sylvanas.
I like the idea of taking the Sylvanas away, because sure, you do have the Odin, as Guan Yu is locked in for Eager, another healer, along with Dwarf's Hades. So I like this direction that we're going in for Eager at the very least.
The Guan Yu jungle works fine. We actually saw the PC Cognitive Gaming run this squad, where they have the Hell in the middle, and then they focus it with a Guan Yu jungle, which basically sits there and camps in the middle lane, and a lot of anti-heal being picked up by Cognitive Gaming. It's going to be a Chang'e, and for those who don't know, her own heal also debuffs healing opponents receive by 40%. You stack her Divine Ruin on top of that, 90% debuff. It is massive.
We'll likely see her in the middle lane, believe it or not, if you're newer to the Xbox scene. A lot of these teams have been taking Chang'e into the middle lane. Just her ability to get out of jail with her second ability, just dance through some of the damage that teams present.
The Moonlit Waltz.
Exactly. It just gives her a little bit more secure. Sylvanas going to be banned out by Cognitive Gaming. They don't want to play it. More importantly, they don't want to have Eager have all of that healing. They've already got two. You don't want to have them 3 healers on the board. So ban option over to Eager.
And I like this Hades pick a little bit more now that I think about it for the side of Eager. And you could see Cognitive Gaming knew they were looking for some Sylvanas or some kind of protection support. What the Hades does is locks down Hell very well, especially if they can catch her without beads or her cleanse isn't high enough ranked. So we actually saw Dwarst, who you see on screen play, have a massive game on Hades against Mace to the Face's Hell yesterday. It's just so good for locking that god down.
With our second round of bans out, we'll take a look at Sobek is locked in for Cognitive Gaming.
Just anti-heal across the board. Yeah. Odin, ring 100%. Chang'e, her heal debuffs by 40%. Obviously, you get stack Divine Rune on top of that. And Sobek also has some anti-healing in his kit. Jablanque locked in for Eager, looking for their final pick. More than likely to be the support, assuming that Guan Yu's going jungle.
Thinking about where they can put this support, or rather what's going to go in the support slot.
Gustavi on your screen there. It's going to be his god, and it's going to be Geb.
Protect the Shibalanke. That's the game we're playing
No,
here
that's
for
the
Team
protect
Eagle.
the Shibla. It's protect the hell. That's what the game is.
But you protect the hell so that hell can protect the Shibalanke,
Okay,
right?
there you go. Once hell starts getting health in, she's pretty hard to lock down. She's a tank herself.
Exactly.
Cognitive Gaming, last pick of the draft here. More than likely looking for a jungler.
Jungle.
If the Chang'e goes mid. We saw Penny not have the most success on it, but Epsilon have been known to run this Chang'e mid.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Cognitive Gaming has some idea on how it works.
Keep in mind, Odin could also go in the jungle. There's a little bit of ambiguity on the side of Cognitive Gaming. So this last pick is not set in stone to be a solo laner, although it's most likely, and it will be. Bellona will, again, well, there's still ambiguity.
Air
but
Cougar does not look confident right now.
we most likely see the Bellona.
Or maybe he's
solo.
just sick. Maybe had fun last night.
I mean, they definitely won. Last night, I feel like Eager versus XGN was one of the games that people were more anticipating. Eager versus Cognitive Gaming, it's an exciting best of 5, but I think morally the victory for Eager.
Mid laners on your screen there. Freya going to be taking on Sambam. Sambam actually, I don't know, man. I was talking to Elbro Chacho too, and he said Sambam might actually be the best player on this Eager lineup. Like was very impressed with this play, at least at this tournament specifically, and the last final weeks of the MLG Pro League.
Sambam has been playing out of his mind this weekend, and a lot of what Eager brings to the table, it's always so interesting when you start to try to identify quote-unquote best players on this Eager lineup, because they share so much of the responsibility among each other. Dwarst always gets a lot of the spotlight because he finds the perfect spot at the right time, but that's all set up by Jelly's anticipation, and Air Cougar has to seal the deal, right? So everybody tends to share all of the responsibility here on this Eager squad, and Sambam definitely a big part of that as well. Freya going to be his direct opponent in the mid lane, and we'll take a look as Sambam does take the hell into the mid lane for the squad of Eager. Dwarfs will be playing what has become his signature Hades.
There's no way you put hell in the solo. It's way too risky to run hell in the solo. Xing, though, with that Odin jungle, I'll be really interested to see how often he takes a trip to this mid lane trying to shut down Sambam.
One of the big things that Odin brings is early game aggression, so we do get to see some early excitement, most likely, from the jungle, or outside of the jungle, from Cognitive Gaming, if you will. Big grouping by Eager in the mid lane. We don't want any surprises, but Lispy and Matt Coy's going to tussle a little bit. Lispy gets some basics off. Yeah, he's definitely going to be fine. But we'll see how far Xing is willing to go into this jungle.
Just far enough to place his ward. Make sure to get vision on him. So something to note here is Guan Yu Hades clear. Guan Yu's clear in the jungle is fine. However, Hades really struggles for the first level. It's just like watching a Hades do his buff also. While he's like very dominant at clearing waves,
it's painful.
He's very bad at clearing jungle camps.
It's painful.
So we'll have to see if Xing wants to elect to invade here, but based on the timing, not gonna happen. Xing just getting to a speed buff, so very little hope for an invade.
Should be standard starts all around the board, both for Eager and Cognitive Gaming. And with 10 seconds on the clock, minions have spawned, and everybody getting ready to pick up their buffs and head to lane.
Speed buff going to be taken. Looks like nothing crazy coming out here for now. This Chang'e versus Hell, though, I imagine the junglers from both of these squads are going to be camping this middle lane because both Freya and Hell are very susceptible to getting blown up and just ganked very easily. Rotations from the junglers already here. I'll be interested to see if they fight as well at these mid camps. Looks like both actually gave up the right-hand side mid camp since neither mid had control of the wave.
Eager probably.
Uh-oh.
On the left-hand side in the dual lane, a lot of trouble for Gustavi on that Sobek. He's going to be poked out just a little bit. He'll find himself walking probably not all the way home. He does have some potions ticking, but he's got to be very careful.
Gustavi, level 2. I don't think he has his pluck right now is the big thing. Otherwise, I think he would have picked up Jelly there in that last engagement. Air Cougar taking a lot of poke too, and that's bad. It's minions. One thing if your support takes poke, considering they have enough potions when they come to lane, usually 6 to 8.
Right.
But when your Hunter Stark's taking poke, that's bad.
And that's just because of the way the poison works. You hit the player as well as the minions, so that whole wave of minions turns around. Mid lane, Sambam very low on mana, but not really of a concern, as the focus is really on these minions for this early game. Hell, how's Hell's early game, Kev? How would you evaluate that character?
Hell kind of just sits there. She really struggles, but she's up against Tachanga, who actually is one of the few mages worse than her at controlling the lane early. Hell, if she gets early lane control, she actually dominates because not only does she one-shot your own creeps, but she heals up, one-shots the enemy's creeps. She also heals up her own. So unless we see her get massive lane advantage, which you really don't want to have as a Hell, considering that Odin can just walk into your lane if you're pushed up and gank you.
Right.
Hell's just going to be sitting at her tower. She won't lose too much gold, though.
Solo lane, long lane, mid lane, pretty much slow, steady pace here in our game number 1. Pretty much what I expected, honestly. As these games go on and on, I think we'll sort of develop a meta, if you will, a sort of pace or where we expect these games to be. But right now, a little bit slow. Gustavi trying to turn things up a little bit, finds himself on the wrong side of things, and Dwurst finds himself on the wrong side of life as well. First blood going the way of Cognitive Gaming. Solo kill for Soup Kitchen in the short lane.
So we actually switched off of that lane just before that happened, and I can already tell you why it happened. We saw Soup Kitchen already start heavy aggression onto Dwurst, and Dwurst took about half his life before he dashed into the wave. And when he dashed into the waves, the minions were actually split, so he could have grouped them all up, get them all stacked with that Blight, and detonate them for more healing and more damage. He wasn't able to fully clear the wave, and then Soup Kitchen recognized that, just immediately went on him, slowed him, and it was just too much damage on that Bellona that early in the game for Dwurst to handle.
Small things wind up being large objectives. 500 gold. Cognitive Gaming is awarded for that first blood. Dwurst here. Now, it's not over for Dwurst. He's definitely still in it. We've seen Dwurst, honestly, yesterday, we've seen him come back from a much larger deficit, just himself in that solo lane. So definitely has confidence there.
It's going to come down to the junglers a little bit here because, I mean, Soup Kitchen with that first blood is likely to have massive control on this lane and steal away his blue. But based on his rotation, he's just going to try and secure these mid camps and allow Dwurst to get his own blue.
Soup Kitchen wants to be aggressive on if Eager comes for these camps.
They're not going to, though. They know.
Yeah.
They saw Soup Kitchen rotate out, so it looks like Eager just going to be grabbing their own buffs for now. Jelly could be in a little bit of trouble. He's the only one here at these mid camps going to knock up Xing, but Xing doesn't have the wards to recognize that he can just kind of go on Jelly in that situation.
Gonna play it careful here.
Xing already has Blink too, or Blink 1 also.
There you go.
we got it.
The idea is you're going to see that Blink cage come down very quickly. I wonder just how quickly we're going to see, if at all, a combat Blink come out of the Hell. Do you think that's the right remedy to the situation that Odin presents?
That's probably a heavy possibility, but we're not going to see it now unless she starts getting shut down. There's need to go into actives on Hell, but if the other team is just letting you farm, then why waste getting a very early combat Blink is kind of the general know-how, because Hell can die once. Hell can die
4 or 5 times.
4 times, yeah, sometimes. As long as the rest of the team can make sure that she stays alive when it comes down to the critical points of the game.
So it's more reactionary than prevention, you would say?
I mean, if you get far enough ahead, but right now Hell wants to finish her boots and probably a defensive item, and then Ethereal Staff. Dwurst, though, in a little bit of trouble once again.
Well, Shing's here is going to drop that cage as soon as the dash is out from Hades. Very patient. There's the jump, and there's the attack. Soup Kitchen one more time. This time gets some help from the jungler. 2 up for Cognitive Gaming.
Fantastic patience by Cognitive Gaming there. They knew that Hades wanted to dash. No point for Xing to jump at all. Matt Coy is trying to make something happen in this left-hand side lane after that gank from Xing in the soul lane, but Gustavi recognizes it, plucks him out of the jungle, and it's going to be a general disengage. But Cognitive Gaming, already about a 500 gold lead, first blood, plus a little bit of farm.
Air Cougar joined up by his support. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the enemy jungle. Cognitive Gaming here, forced to defend their purple buff. Here comes Matt Coys as well, so it's a 3-on-2 on the left-hand side, looking towards the purple. It does go the way of the wrong team. Cognitive Gaming take it themselves, and here comes the ring surrounding pretty much everybody. Air Cougar in some trouble. Gustavi winds up with 2 to support Sobek with the double kill, and Hell being chased down. Sam Bam going to fall to the hand of Freya. Cognitive Gaming with 3 more kills brings it up to 5-0.
That's going to be a Gold Fury attempt, but We do have Jelly and Dwarst still alive. Dwarst, his ultimate not in hand. Jelly, they're going to have to try and steal it. It's getting pretty low. Gold Fury at a little under 0.5%, but Cognitive Gaming, they're going to secure it. And now Dwarst, nowhere to go. His dash is down. That's going to be the 4th kill for Cognitive Gaming. They're going to go up 6-0 and a solid 2,000 gold lead.
You know, I respect the plan of Dwarst right there, just going for the try to go for the steal. Hades has an interesting objective secure in the sense that he can silence the entire crowd and then see what he can do with his explosion.
It's actually a lot of damage because he was able to blight all 4 members or all 5 members of Cognitive Gaming successfully.
Exactly. So
half a second too late.
That's one of those situations where, all right, they got the gold and I'm going to die, but there's a little bit of respect given. I like the idea of going in there. Cognitive Gaming up 6-0 against Team Eager in what is game number 1 of a 5-game series, and this is a real tangible lead for Cog very early on as we approach 7.5.
It was an interesting fight for Eager, actually. They invaded the purple buff, which I think was a fine move, but they positioned themselves awkwardly, and then we actually saw Matt Koiz get on Cavalry Charge to basically run around the Odin ult. But there was actually space on the other side of the Odin ult, more towards Cognitive Gaming's base, where the Suns from that Hou Yi weren't hitting, but he still elected to go towards them and actually took a couple extra hits that he probably didn't need to take. The ult from Jelly was a little bit late. It just was an overall sloppy engagement from Eager. They're going to have to tighten it up here because even though they have a hell, Cognitive Gaming are doing exactly what they need against it. They have an early lead, and if they push this much further, then Eager are going to have to start to worry.
As you said, biggest thing for me is
Dwarst.
Eager does still have a hell. Dwarst in some trouble. There's the dash. Oh, the jump from Shing off the mark, but the cage is still strong underneath his own tower. Dwarst drops the ultimate, taking a lot of poke, but so does the opponent. And here comes Matt Koiz on the horse, drops down, double stun. Here comes Sam Bam as well. Tallow Assault secures the kill. Matt Koiz takes out Soup Kitchen. Fantastic response by the guys on Eager, and they find themselves on the board in the 8th minute.
Unfortunate misplay by Shing there. You could see that the jump just a little bit short. It seems like he was ready to jump before it actually happened. Misses the explosion, and you saw the immediate distress from Shing.
Yeah.
I was wondering actually why he was trying to get out of that Hades ult that quickly, but it was obviously the massive rotation from Eager, and they're able to pick up a nice kill onto the Bologna, who was 3-0 at that point. Going to help out Dwarst a lot in that solo lane.
Yeah, big play coming out from Eager. It's 1 kill, but it means a lot more for Eager than Cognitive Gaming in that situation because of the bounty.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too, because you take a look at that solo lane, and Soup Kitchen has a 600 gold lead on Dwarst, which at the start you're like, okay, that's significant, but you have to realize that Soup Kitchen soloed out Dwarst for a 500 gold bounty and got gold. It should be an 800 gold lead right now, plus just him getting some mid camps, should have been out farming. So Soup Kitchen, even though he got first blood and a gold fury, he hasn't really been abusing Dwarst as much as he could have been. This should have been a much higher gold lead at this point in the game.
And I mean, a large part of that just goes to Dwarst's credit, right? His ability to farm and really maintain. And of course, the Hades character comes into play a little bit. But shouts to Cognitive Gaming for recognizing what Dwarst has been doing pretty much not even just all tournament, all season, and paying attention to this solo lane. That's where their attention should be. And then Eager responding in kind. All right, the last 2 ganks have been in the short lane. We're going to be ready to respond. That's exactly what happened. Matt Koiz ulted out of the jungle and then wound up helping out Sam Bam for the kill.
Soup Kitchen still applying the pressure to Dwarst, though. Dwarst should be fine. He can sit under his tower and soak up most of this gold and XP. Eager's lineup is interesting, right? They have the massive heals, but Cognitive Gaming also have a lot of anti-healing. But is it going to be enough?
I mean, don't forget, on top of all of the anti-healing in the kits, there's also a weakening curse.
Of course, a very early one to note.
Yes, a full weakening curse that was purchased about 10 minutes, if not beforehand. So there is a lot of anti-heal going on for the squad, but there's also... Eager does more than just heal in this game, right? I mean, the Guan Yu is going to be shredding the protections, and we've seen what Dwarst can do time and time again. And Air Cougar's the Shibalanke, so...
Look at Air Cougar, though. You can see the rotation by Shing. His blink is online. Air Cougar, the dash is down. He's going to be caught in his own tower, but it's only Shing there for now. He's at half-life. Can he get out of the cage in time? Doesn't look like it. Cray, the Outlaw, finds the kill, but a blink in by Jelly. Double knock-up. No follow-up, though. The Hades, he teleported in, but you could see Hell and Guan Yu still in the mid lane, and Eager not able to make a response. Eager going to drop Air Cougar in that fight, though.
Yeah, that Shibalanke pick with the Odin cage is a tough one to muster up. It's definitely an uphill battle for Eager with respect to that Odin cage. Hell's going to wind up with the combat blink eventually, most likely. You don't want to see your Xbalanque with a combat.
I would imagine eventually, yeah. I mean, a lot of that's going to come down to positioning by the Hell and the Xbalanque. They should never be grouped together because that's just going to be a perfect ult for Xing. I would imagine they're going to be separated for the most part. At least at the beginning of the fight, don't allow that Odin to lock in two of your key members that early. Cray the Outlaw here, going to be just checking out Gold Fury, making sure no one's on it.
Easy rotations coming out from Eager, trying to be all over the place at the same time.
A lot of early actives for Eager right now. You take a look and a Shell 1 already picked up teleport as well by DeWorst. Heavenly completed along with beads for this Matt Koi's jungle Guan Yu. A sprint 1 for Hell, at the very least looking to get a very early sprint 2 to immune some of the slows. And then a weakening or a creeping curse and blink already picked up by Jelly. So a lot of actives invested into 12 minutes in.
Gustavi was looking for the pick. Anybody that was able to be taken away was going to be taken away just like that. Gustavi still on the... It's funny, when you're watching Sobex play versus other Guardians, the entire time I just get the feeling, all right, who can I find? Who can I find? They're like this heat-seeking missile.
I want to pluck someone.
It's a satisfying sound, and you isolate a
It really is a good sound.
It's so great.
Sound is so important in video games. Like, it's just like when you have the right sound, it's just amazing.
The bird bomb from Odin.
That's really good too.
It's just a satisfying, loud crunch. We're going to hear it. I thought we were going to see an engagement right here with Xing. Here he is. He's going to jump on these minions at the very least.
Guan Yu, old Guan Yu Tallow Salt. The bongos. Come on, I want those back. Those were so good. I mean, that's all right.
You
too.
and all 37 other people on Reddit.
37? There's at least 39 of us. Come on, man. Give us credit. There's at least 667 of us. At least.
Maybe probably above 2,000 at least.
Over 9,000?
2,000. More like 2030, 2032 maybe.
2032, that's an accurate number.
Mid lane grouping by Cognitive Gaming, 3-1, as Jelly is the lone defender here on the tower.
I'm really surprised at some of these builds, actually. You take a look at the Hell, and I think Max CDR Hell is very important, but
I agree.
Sambam went into Chronos Pendant, which means he's not expecting to take aggression. The more I look at this, I'm really surprised he went Chronos Pendant, not Breastplate. Because there are all the high damage, Odin, Bologna, Cray the Outlaw on this Hou Yi, that's all physical. Breastplate was actually the best item to buy here on Hell into Ethereal Staff.
I traditionally don't like Breastplate, but I think it is the correct option here. The thought process, at least for Eager's mid lane Sambam, I think, is the idea that he's going to have to provide some damage as well because of all of the healing reduction. It's going to be very important for Hell to do more than just heal. Dwarf picks up his own blue buff against Soup Kitchen. There it is.
Gold tier going to be started up in the meantime, though, as Hell had to rotate to try and defend that blue buff. And Cognitive Gaming, they're surrounding it. 3 members, 4 are here now. Gold Fury, it's already at 60%, but Matt Koi's, he'll be here in time to defend this.
Oh, the ring is down. Koi's cannot get in, but it might have been a little bit too early. There's the Cataclysm. There's the Cavalry charge. Eager, they steal the Gold Fury. That's a big one, but Cray the Outlaw makes the pay, taking down Jelly. Cougar comes around, takes out the opponent's support. Now Sambam gets attacked. Lispy separated from the rest of the team. Cray the Outlaw takes out Sambam. Eager trying to find a way out, but a good stun going to prevent that.
Dwarf's going to lock in 3 beats. Cray's going to get out. Same with Freya, but Soup Kitchen locked in place. Xing going to jump away. Soup Kitchen's 1 hit, but it doesn't look like Eager want to chase. No, they do want to chase. Cray the Outlaw going to be slowed by Hades, stunned in place. Jumps over the wall just in time, and it doesn't look like Eager's going to be able to clean up anymore, but a stolen Gold Fury and 1 kill onto Gustavi. They're screaming worth.
Great play coming out from Eager. I love the adaptation right there. You see the ring come down from Odin as Matt Koi is the only one available. All of a sudden, blink, Kata, it's ours. Team Eager comes up on top, taking a look at the graph, still trailing, but they've cut the lead in half. What was previously a 3,000 gold lead by the Red Squad. Eager is now trailing by 1,600, and they're going to shorten that to about 1,000 as Air Cougar takes out this tier 1.
So Cognitive Gaming, based on kind of the slow pace they were going at, I would imagine that they want to take it to late game. Air Cougar going to get slowed here in place. No, actually, pops the sprint 2, going to immune the Creeping Curse, but Cognitive Gaming, based on their pace, I imagine that they wanted to take it pretty late game against a Hell, which is sometimes risky. Well, they have a lot of anti-healing, but the fact that Sambam has went a pretty risky build going into the Chronos Pendant, looking for more damage than defense, I would like to see Xing try and shut down Sam Bam and get a couple kills onto him here in this mid game.
I agree. And sort of like what I was saying before, I didn't get a chance to finish. Sam Bam has to bring more to the table than just the heals at this point, Kev. Because like you illustrated before, there's like 5 characters that can shut down the healing, plus a weakening curse. You need to do something. If you're just a healer, well, that's already done. So.
Aircougar going to pop his ultimate. Gray the Outlaw already used his, but nothing going to happen. You can see rotation in the jungle by Xing, but not going to find Aircougar in time before he backs, and it's Gustavi in the mid looking for some picks. Still, though, I mean, right now, Eager have had great positioning across the map, not allowing Gustavi or Xing to find any opening.
Only 2 deaths for Sam Bam, and one of them was in a team fight, right? So the positioning from the Hell, which is really the number one thing that you want to look at with Hell players, has been on the mark.
Oh, look at this.
Cog getting ready to steal away a speed buff.
I think they're on wards, though. I mean, they're on 3 different wards.
Yeah, Eager knows all about this.
I'll be interested to see how they rotate. You can actually see Cray rotating the mid lane. Cognitive Gaming are ready for a fight.
I'd like to see Jelly use the knock-up on the camp when it spawns, and then just wait.
No, it's very risky to pull a camp right now. You can even see Sam Bam threw out one ability and then backed off.
Oh, but it's going to be a tussle on the right side.
Blue buff
Focusing on the
stolen
blue
away.
buff. Love the change of
Heavenly.
plan from Cognitive Gaming. And now Koi's going to try and make things happen, but he's all by himself. He quickly notices it's a 5-on-1.5 as Jelly's forced out on the right side. So he ejects. Cognitive Gaming steal the blue buff away from Eager, and they head towards the mid lane. Xing looking directly at Aircougar, who's made the rotation. Big bird bomb onto the Shivalanke. The cage comes down just in time. Geb shield, Hell heal. Aircougar's fine.
Just barely. Soup Kitchen going to be caught in the jungle, but it doesn't matter. And right now, Eager's positioning has been phenomenal. And they have this Hell in Guan Yu. Aircougar is going to be back to full life in just a couple seconds. And you can already see it right there. He's at 90%. And Cognitive Gaming, they tried to find picks, but Eager's positioning has just been so key.
And this right here, we can talk about healing reduction and weakening curses till the cows come home, Kevin. But the re-engage is really important with Hell.
Why aren't the cows home?
Cows are out partying.
The cows party?
Cows go hard.
Apparently. They're out in the pasture having
But what I'm saying here is Eager's ability to heal up and then refight is very important.
Let's actually... Yeah, here, Cognitive Gaming deep in this jungle. Xing trying to find something. Bird bomb on 2.
That's huge.
Over the top. The suns are raining down. Sam Bam, the first to fall. Matt Boy finds as well. Jelly, nowhere to go. Cray the Outlaw going to jump in place. Dwarf rotates in, immediately plucked. He may get a big ultimate, but is surrounded by 5 members.
But Cougar's here. Beautiful disarm by the Bologna. Freya picks up the double kill as Dwarf falls down. That situation, so Cognitive obviously wins the fight. 2 people are left, Dwarst and Aircougar. With Dwarst's ultimate, if Aircougar comes out and starts throwing out those bolas, 2 people could die, maybe even 3, right? Fantastic heads-up play by Soup Kitchen to turn around, scourge out Aircougar. No basics allowed, he's disarmed. Cognitive Gaming directly go to the Fire Giant. No opposition here. This is a free objective very early on. It's going to take them a while to bring it down, but Aircougar really can't stop this one.
Aircougar just going to be trying to split push in the meantime. The risk a little bit too heavy for the possible reward. Fire Giant, though, going to go the way of Cognitive Gaming after picking up a 4-for-0 trade deep in the Eager's juggle. 2-13 in kills right now as well. Only a 3K gold lead, and Eager, they still have this Hell, this Guan Yu, they still have this late game heal comp, but they're going to have to try and keep Sam Bam alive because Sam Bam was immediately blown up in that fight.
Well, that's the priority target for Kongu. Even with all of the healing reduction, they're definitely mindful of the re-engage potential from this team. If you hurt Eager and let them go, Sam Bam's going to heal them up later on once all that healing reduction is gone. So Cognitive Gaming is making a point to really focus that down. Cog's going to look at the Gold Fury.
I'm just really worried for this Hell. Like, there's not a ton of hard CC outside of Geb. She has the Geb shield, but she has 0 physical protection. No one on her team even has a Heartward amulet, which would give her the 20 protection aura for physical, right? They have the Sovereignty, which is giving a magical protect aura. So right now, I mean, it's going to be hard for this Hell to stay alive. Cognitive Gaming secure that gold tier. Now they're going to roll up this middle lane, take the tier 1. I imagine that right now they're just looking at trying to clear out this towers and get a 10K gold lead.
Yeah, tier 2 coming out of Cognitive Gaming as well. Team Eager have no interest in defending against this one. We'll see if Cog goes on to the Phoenix.
No, they're playing it safe. I love this decision from Cognitive Gaming. Take the free gold on the map that you know Eager's not going to want to contest. Wait out your Fire Giant, and then after you wipe the towers, Once the next Fire Giant comes up, you'll have almost an item ahead from all the gold you gained.
Forward thinking coming from the guys on Cognitive Gaming right now.
And I like what Dwarsh is doing too. You can see he's going to split push that right-hand side line. He may only get one tower, but still worth it, in my opinion.
Exactly, and that's what Eager does very well. They find sort of the ray of sunlight in the sun shower. Air Cougar took out mid tower while Cognitive was going for that inevitable Fire Giant. You got to do something, right? So a little bit here and there. Smart decisions coming out from Eager. They pick up 2 tier 1 towers. Cognitive Gaming obviously do a little bit more as they clean up both mid lane and the left lane, and that puts them at a 7,800 gold lead. How quick we've come. 21 minutes, it was 3,000.
You wipe a team, you get a Fire Giant, you get a Gold Fury, you get a couple towers. I mean, that's about a 7,800 gold lead right there, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, that's the things after the doing.
The things after the stuff, I don't know, man. But, you know, right there, all these players had about 1,800 to 2K gold in hand. You can see some big items being completed right now for Cognitive Gaming. We have Spirit Robe on the line for Odin. Breastplate just finished for Chang'e.
That's what you're talking about.
What was I talking?
Watching Hades kill a buff camp.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't. It's just like the worst.
Abysmal.
It's so bad. Executioner finished for Cray, and he's working on a Fatalis as well. Some big items for Cognitive Gaming.
Cognitive come down this right-hand side. That's the only tower that's left is here. What was once the solo lane, but now it's a party.
When you have the 4-man split,
here.
when you have the 4-man split a back camp, that's when you know it's bad.
It was a speed buff.
Just starving.
It was a speed buff.
And then the back camp. But still, you know they're starving for XP when that happens. And I like this decision from Cog. They're not going to risk throwing right now at a Phoenix unless they can find a pick, and that just seems to be what they're looking for. Let's actually take a listen to Cog's comps as they try and get this Phoenix.
Pop everything.
I'm on. Ship.
Yo,
Jelly.
Ship.
Good job. Keep going.
Keep going.
Nice.
Help. Run.
Double tap. End the game.
Meanwhile, I'm the Phoenix. Yeah, let's just end it.
I'm sorry, you don't like Odin?
Yeah.
You don't like Odin?
That was pretty solid.
You don't like Odin?
That was pretty solid.
First time we've ever won
Look,
with Odin.
0 and 17, baby.
Well, thanks to the Turtle Beach team chat, you heard them how quickly they wanted to end that game. They being Cognitive Gaming, who we're taking a look at right now, and they're looking pretty confident, dancing down the line, actually.
You don't like Odin? You don't like Odin? You hear that from Sheik? She's like, in Pixie Bands, she made executive decision that I'm playing Odin.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm team captain. And the rest of the team clearly didn't want that, but hey, apparently they like Odin now.
Well,
Odin.
That's what we were talking about. I mean, Xing is the driving force of this team, and sometimes as a team leader that understands his capabilities, you got to make those executive decisions, and that's exactly what we saw out of Xing. Listen, I know what we're doing. This is what we're playing. I'm doing Odin. I'm making the decision. And as long as you wind up with a win in 20 minutes, I'm sure his team is okay with that.
It worked really well for picking off the worst very early on, and then after that, we saw the failed ultimate on the Gold Fury, although I really liked the strategy. Unfortunately for Cognitive Gaming, Jelly just had a very nice blink in, and they comboed it very well to steal away that Gold Fury. But especially later in the game, some big Odin rings coming in, locking almost every single, Air Cougar specifically, every single member, though, of Eager in place.
I absolutely loved the game that Cognitive Gaming played. They played so specifically. They paid a lot of attention to Dwarst early to allow that solo lane. Everybody's always afraid of Dwarst. We've spoken about him. They've spoken about him. The fans have spoken about him. So naturally, you want to pay attention to that early. Air Cougar got a little bit of attention. The Hell, not really focused on, as sort of the opposite thinking that many people would think about. But Cognitive Gaming instead focused on the outside lanes, and that ultimately won them the game.
Let's actually take a quick look at the final play of the game, the BenQ best play, and see how it all broke down and allowed Cognitive Gaming to find the game a 1 win.
Yeah, here it's
just look at this. Just look at this Odin ring.
Yeah.
4 members stuck in it.
And it's worthwhile mentioning that one more time, Xing finds himself in front of the rest of the team, blinking in, dropping the cage, and then the team just follows suit. They understand that, listen, Xing's going to be making these calls. He goes for it, and all of a sudden, 1 ring drops down, 4 people die, 5 people wind up biting the dust, and Cognitive Gaming, they take game 1. They've got to take 2 more if they want to win these finals, as it is a best of 5.
Yeah, in a best of 5, but what I really like that happens in best of 5s that we haven't really talked about yet because there's only been best of 3s, but kind of like the mini meta that develops based on picks and bans. So obviously Cognitive Gaming, their strategy going into that was to allow the hell to be open because they know Eager's not going to ban it away. And then they devised this anti-healing strategy around that. We saw the Chang'e come out. We actually saw the Divine Ruin on her as well. We saw the Odin for the 100% anti-heal once anyone's in the cage. And then we saw the Sobek picked as well. He has some anti-healing in his kit. It was kind of like a bunch of anti-healing stack, very early weakening, and allow Eager to, and then I wouldn't say allow Eager, but force Eager into awkward situations as much as they can.
That was what I really noticed. You saw a lot of just pure aggression coming out from Cognitive. They said, okay, we're going to fight you on your speed buff. We're going to fight you on your back camps. And Eager, they are sitting there with an early game hell, and there really wasn't anything, it's the pressure that the Odin brings. It was just, Cognitive Gaming understood the early versus late game sort of composition or the characters individually, and they said, look, we're strong now, and you're not. You can try to defend, and I bet you can't.
You can see Xing there. Pretty happy after that one.
Air Cougar, not so much.
And you know what? I'm just saying, Air Cougar didn't look confident in game 1 to begin with, right before we went in. Sam Bam there, the Hell player to your left. Did not have the best games. I don't think the Chrono Spin lost him the game at all.
No.
But I think that was the wrong choice. I think having a breastplate might have helped him out a little bit in those earlier engagements because Cognitive Gaming did have a massive lead. Outside of that stolen Gold Fury, if that Gold Fury wasn't stolen, Eager would have been so much further behind. And you never want to rely on the fact that you stole a Gold Fury to be like, yeah, man, we were even with Cognitive for most of the game. No, you would have been down 5,000 instead of like the 1,500 if that wasn't stolen.
For me, I like the Gold Fury. All I know is I'm looking at what's on the paper, and the fact that they were even with Cog for a while means that we're going to have a great series. One already in the book, and that's on the side of Cognitive Gaming. We've got a couple more games coming to you soon. Stay here. We'll be right back.